that we recite. So we have to know that there is machloket in the poskim as well. The Ashkenazim, they will always recite Borei Mineh Besamim on Motzei Shabbat. Always. For us, the Faradim, according to the ruling of Chacham Batya, each one has his own beracha. Obviously, on the meat, you're going to recite the beracha of Borei Aizbe Besamim. And on the clubs, you're going to recite the beracha of Borei Atzeh Besamim. If you have a mixture, and by the way, that's what they give a lot in Semachot, okay, or you want to buy a whole set of Avdalah, they give you a mixture of Besamim. If there is a mixture, you recite Borei Mineh Besamim. Why? Borei Mineh Besamim can cover all the Besamim that there is. Okay? The what? I'm sorry? Yeah, I said. Yes. Yes. Okay, my dear friends. Now, I want to share with you a very nice idea that obviously is connected to the previous Shabbat, Parashat Pinchas. We found something strange by Pinchas. Pinchas ben Elazar ben Aaron HaKohen, Borei Olam, is praising him like we never see before by anybody else. Even Kalev ben Yefuneh, if you remember, in Parashat Shelach, that he went against everybody and he spoke good about Eretz Yisrael, Borei Olam praised him. And Borei Olam told him, V'Kalev ben Yefuneh, Ekev vayeta ruach acheret imo. Right? He gave him the blessing and the possibility to enter to the land of Israel. But by Pinchas, we find something extraordinary, something above nature. What happened? Borei Olam is giving a special blessing at Beriti Shalom, and not a regular blessing. He's turning Pinchas to be Kohen. Not only Kohen, out of him there will be over 300 Kohanim Gedolim. And not only that, but he will never die. Like the Gemara writes down, many places, Baba Metzia, there is in the Zohar HaKadosh as well, that Pinchas was Eliyahu, right? Pinchas is Eliyahu Navi. And Eliyahu Navi didn't die. And all of this because he went and he killed Zimri ben Salu. And we have to understand why HaKadosh Baruch Hu is giving so much credit to Pinchas for a good action. I mean, good actions is great. And paying for a good action is amazing. But looks like it's already too much. He went out of the normal, frame of payment, and he's paying extra. So last night, I saw in one of the writings that I have at home a nice perush that says like this. The pasuk says, "Vayakom mitoch ha'ida, vayikach romach beyado." Pinchas stood up, mitoch ha'ida. What's mitoch ha'ida? From inside the community. Say Chazal, Pinchas, when they saw, when Am Yisrael saw how Zimri ben Salu is taking a goya and he's doing an avon in front of everybody, was such a Hilul Hashem that all of Am Yisrael were in shock. Zimri ben Salu was not a kid. Chazal is saying, according to the Midrash, he was over 250 years old. Not only that, he came to Moshe Rabbeinu and he asked him, I'm allowed to marry this woman? I'm allowed to be with this woman? Moshe Rabbeinu said, Bar Minan. So he told him, so why you married a Goya? Obviously not a Goya. She converted. The Hilul Hashem that was done by Zimri ben Salu was a shock by all of Am Yisrael. I just want you to understand. I'm just going to give you an example. Imagine now any big Chacham in our generation, anyone, whoever you think about, all of a sudden in life, he's taking a hadami, he's taking a goya, and he's saying, I'm going to be with her. What a Hilul Hashem, what an embarrassment. Chazal, that the shock was so big, everybody froze. Nobody knew what to do. And Pinchas was part of them as well. Pinchas was frozen. And the Torah is telling us, Vayakom mitoch ha'edah. He was part of everybody. He was like everybody else. Whenever you're like everybody else, one of the things I remember, I'll tell you in a minute. I remember once in the shul, there was a guy that did Hilul Hashem in the middle of the tefillah. He screamed and he did a whole balagan. The rabbi was not here. And everybody was in shock. Chatzuf. Middle of Sefer Torah. The Sefer Torah was being taken out. The guy was screaming, making a whole dilemma. And everybody was in shock. Now, what's going on at the moment that you hear something like this? You say, wow, that's so bad, but I'm nobody to do something. Like there is this guy and there is that guy and there is the Mesader and there is the vice president and there is this guy, the guy in the board and there is this rabbi. You don't do anything. Especially if there is a rabbi in the middle. Automatically, in your head is, that's a disaster what's going on over here, but okay, the rabbi should do something. Say Chazal, Am Yisrael were in the same exact position. Each one was saying, that's a disaster, but I can't do anything. Vayakom mitoch ha'edah. Pinchas was part of the same mentality. He was having the same thoughts. And he decided in one instant to leave these thoughts to the side, to stand up and to do an action. Chazal are telling us that strength, that koach of doing action when nobody's doing, you get the tzachar of all the people that were supposed to do the action. Where do I learn this from? The Hafetz Chaim brings down something fascinating. Says the Hafetz Chaim, there is a concept called Met Mitzvah. You heard about Met Mitzvah? Met Mitzvah, example, a person is walking on the street, but Minan, he sees a Yehudi dead in the floor. Nobody's taking care of him. What's the halacha? Even a Kohen that sees this dead body, he has the obligation to take care of him. Why? There is nobody else. Says the Hafetz Chaim, there are mitzvot that are called Met Mitzvah. How? There are mitzvot that a lot of people, they know about this mitzvah, but they're not being activated. People are not doing the mitzvah. Could be, for example, in a place that everybody speaks in the middle of the tefillah, Hazara. Everybody speaks like that. I was once in a shul. Obviously, I'm not going to tell you which shul. Baruch Hashem, not here. I was in a shul. The whole entire minyan, there was not one guy. The whole entire minyan. Once they finished the Amidah, yalla, ala kef kefak. They had to stop the Hazara at least 5 times. Unreal. Unbelievable. Says the Hafetz Chaim, when a person decides in that minyan not to talk, and he's going against everybody else, and he wants to be like everybody else, they're even talking to you, and you don't talk, you're fulfilling a met mitzvah. And the result of a met mitzvah is that you get tzachar, you get the payment in name of all the tzibur that is there with you. The Hafetz Chaim adds one more. Says the Hafetz Chaim, how many people they don't speak Lashon Hara? How many people they don't speak Lashon Hara? Says the Hafetz Chaim, if you decide to take upon yourself an extra step, extra effort, not to speak Lashon Hara, you should know that you are fulfilling a mitzvah. And you're getting the sachar of not the community, all the Jews in the world that are not guarding their mouth, you're getting the sachar of them. That's why the payment of Pinchas was such a great payment. The what? That Pinchas vayakom mitoch hadai, he stood up from the people to do something that everybody knew that you have to do, but nobody did it. And that's a musar eschel for each one of us. Because in life we have moments that we allow ourselves to do things just because everybody does it. How many times you say that to yourself, you know, nobody's waking up. I'm going to tell you a story. There was a boy, a young guy that just got married in Israel, and this guy is learning in a kollel. Now, as you know, Israel, at the Avrechim, they live a very tough life. It's not easy. They get paid misery, nothing, right? And now, Bichlal, what's going on in Israel, even worse, because back then they were getting money from the government. Now there is not one penny from the government. You know, the Avrechim, whenever you see an Avrech in Israel, you should know that you're seeing a miracle. Rav Shach used to say, Rav Shach Alav Shalom used to say, that every Ben Torah, every Avrech in Israel lives above nature. You want to see nisim, miracles, today in our days? Ask any Avrech in Israel, explain to me, how do you live? Most of the guys are going to tell you, we don't know. We don't know, but they make it. Not only they made it, they make it for themselves. They make it to marry their children. Where regular people, when they go to work, they cannot afford buying houses to their kids. Avrechim, they do. So I'm just going to tell you this because the other minyan is coming in. This guy was looking for an apartment. For him, he just got married. He was looking and looking and looking. He found an apartment. The problem was that the money was too high. Too high. He didn't have that money. He said, his Havruta comes up to him in the kollel and he tells him, listen, if you don't mind, I want to do ta'anit dibur when we learn Torah. No talking. So listen, but you know, people are talking over here. Listen, if you want to learn with me, I want to do ta'anit dibur. We don't talk the whole entire hours that we're learning. It's not easy. So you know what? I'll try. They're learning 1 week ta'anit dibur. Second week, there is a guy that enters to the kollel and he says, I want to donate to the Avrechim, each Avrech $1,000. But $1,000 for an Avrech, it's a big deal. For us, especially here in Miami, it's 2 days in Sara stand. But, right, $1,000 for an Avrech, it's a big deal. Now, the guy that was giving out the money, he was giving it outside the kollel. There is these guys that are learning Havruta Ta'anit Dibur. They don't speak, they don't interrupt their learning. Every Avrech was going 5 minutes outside, getting the money, saying Hazak Baruch, and coming back to learn. Our guy, our Avrech, looks at his Havruta, and without talking, he's saying, some money? And the Chavruta, yalla, learn. Very strict. Now this guy came into a dilemma. What should I do? I need the money. I need the money. And, the guy is going to leave. And because of Tani Dibur, very nice, but I need the money. And in his head, he said, the biggest Yetzirah was, everybody's doing it. Look at them. They go in and out 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes. Come on. Don't exaggerate. He has this milchama, this war inside himself. At the last moment, he decided, Yalla, I have bitachon on Borei Olam, I'm going to do the right thing. I'm learning Torah. The guy from outside, listen to this crazy story. The guy outside that was giving $1,000 for each. He asked one of the guys, did I finish with everybody? So they told him, no, there is this couple that are learning Tani Dibur. They didn't want out. So why they're not coming out? Tell them that, no, they don't interrupt the learning. He said, what? Even for 2 minutes, for 5 minutes? Nothing. Not only that, they don't speak anything while they're learning. The guy gets so touched on what a strength they have. He said, I'm going to wait until the end of the Seder, to the end of their learning time. He approached each one of them and he told him, I need you to tell me your needs and I'll cover them. Inshallah, where's this guy? I need his phone number. Right? But so this guy said, I thought that I am giving and I am doing for Borei Olam, and you don't understand that whenever you do for Borei Olam is here to pay you double. To pay you double. That's the strength of Pinchas. Vayakom mitoch ha'edah, he was able to go against everybody else when he was part of everybody. Everybody's doing it. Do it. No, but I know that it's not correct. If it's not correct, remain strong. Remain straight in the Avodat Hashem, and you will see the amount of berekah that it's going to be without proportion. Like by Pinchas, there was no proportion. By each one of us, you fulfill Avodat Hashem against everybody, you're getting sachar without proportion. Baruch Adonai Le'olam, Amen ve'amen. Rabbi Hananiah ben Agashah ben Atzai Kadosh Baruch Hu L'Zechot Et Yisrael Lefikach. Yerban Em Torah Mitzvot Shalem Al Adonai Chafetz Aman Tzidko.